Tim Albright with AVNation at InfoComm 2024 in the HP Poly booth with Brian Phillips. How are you, brother?
I'm good, how are you?
I am well. I'm well. You guys have been doing a couple of different, a number of different announcements. This week we're talking about a brand new video conferencing system that is Android based. What is that?
So that's called the Poly Studio G62. It's our latest Android-based video conferencing system designed for larger, more integrated spaces where you need something a little bit more customized than your standard video bar that's going to go into most of your rooms.
Okay, so why go Android on this side?
So that's great for those customers that prefer more of an appliance-based approach. You want to run Teams rooms on Android, Zoom rooms on Android, sometimes more configurable, more appliance-based than, say, a Windows-based solution, which is our other great alternative.
And you say customizable. Give me some examples of how, you know, a tech manager would be able to specify, hey, here's some customization pieces I want.
Yeah, exactly. So the key with this is, you know, the little codec box will hide away, and it's got a lot of your standard ports you're going to have there in a typical deployment. But one of the ways that we designed this to be much more flexible is around Ethernet-based components in the room. So we're seeing this future coming where more and more spaces, even if it's not a super huge space, but more of a mid to large size room, you're going to want the benefits of multiple cameras in that space. So you got a camera at the front of the room, maybe you got a new center table camera that's sitting in the middle, maybe in a classroom you've got a tracking camera at the back. So you've got multiple cameras in the room, you've got multiple microphones in that space. The key is how do you set up and configure all that in a way that is simple and easy and scalable and cost effective, because if you've got to run USB to all of these cameras and all these components, it just adds a ton of cost and complexity and points of failure. So what we're doing is actually connecting everything through Ethernet. You can connect this little LLN port to a local switch in the room to essentially create your own little private network where everything connects over Ethernet. So simple, cost-effective, flexible cabling goes through conduits easily, and then you create your own little private network. So you don't have all of the challenges or maybe security hiccups of connecting to your corporate LAN. You keep it on your own little link local network within the room, and it allows everything to connect together and scale in a way that's much, much easier than either proprietary connectors or USB.
And then this box is connected to the network because it needs to get out.
Exactly. So this has got one connector that goes to the network, and in fact the entire device can be powered over PoE+. So you don't even need a separate power adapter. All you do is install this in the room, hook it up to your single cable to your network. We've even got this metal mounting plate. You can just attach that right behind your display, or shoot, this has got the magnets in it. You can put this right on the back of the display, and then connect everything over Ethernet. Simple, easy ways to be able to extend and expand the experience in more integrated environments.
All right, something else you're talking about this week is Teams on Windows.
Yes.
Now, when you said that to me, I was like, all right, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I thought Teams was always on Windows.
Sure.
So
and
explain that.
Teams has been on Windows for a long time, and we've had our own Teams on Windows solutions as well. This, I think with this latest generation, it's really brought together a proof point for HP's compute engineering and the collaboration engineering on the Poly side to co-engineer a solution that is one complete experience in the room in terms of the audio and video experience, in terms of the setup and configuration. So instead of having these disparate parts and pieces you're connecting together to try to get them to work, it's more of one complete solution. So for example, having a connection for our TC10 controller to connect over Ethernet. So typically in a Teams on Windows room, it's designed around USB-based controllers in that space, which again, USB gets challenging to extend and to try to run through conduits. Well, now you can connect that over Ethernet. So you're sensing a theme here, right?
Absolutely.
Having easy Ethernet connectivity for your controller. You can connect multiple controllers, so really the first time you can do that in the MTR on Windows space, up to 4 in the room at the same time for a larger room. So not only in terms of having the ports and the compute itself really designed around collaboration, but even the software that goes inside. So being able to auto-sense that PoE-based controller that connects in to quickly do your configuration without needing a keyboard and a mouse. To be able to monitor all the different components in the room to make sure everything is working, report that up to our PolyLens cloud management platform. Even the things around security, we've got our HP Wolf security software that lives on there to make sure it's protected from malware and other issues that can be a problem for Windows-based solutions. Really, again, a fully integrated and co-engineered solution that I think is industry leading for MTR on Windows that HP Poly can uniquely deliver, since we're both part of the same company.
Let me ask you this, because I am sensing a theme, and I want to ask you about this. I'm not going to debate AV and IT, and that's a different conversation. But it does feel very much like, I mean, we're at InfoComm here, right? And 20 years ago, it was revolutionary that an RS-232 or an RJ45 was on the back of it, right? Now it feels like if you're not on the network, and you guys are even going down further than that, but if you're not on the network, you're missing the boat because IT is so involved. How are you guys able to take those customers, take the IT department and the tech managers and say, look, in this case, HP Poly has got you covered. This is the impact on the network. This is how we make sure the network stays secure. But how are you guys able to have that conversation with those IT departments?
I think the key is really having that understanding of what needs to go on the corporate LAN and what ideally you keep off of the corporate LAN. So there are certain parts, obviously you need the core computer codec to be on the corporate LAN to make a call in the first place. Or sometimes certain environments are just engineered so that the controller is speaking over the corporate LAN. But especially when you're getting into in-room experiences, when you got multiple cameras that are all working together to deliver one consistent experience that auto switches between those devices. Or when you're getting more microphones in the room that need to have super low latency, make sure you've got lip sync in place. It's best to keep those off of the corporate LAN so you get the lowest latency, the best performance, and you're not having to deal with some of the challenges that naturally come along with putting things on the corporate network. So you don't have to run into some of the IT security challenges that you see with devices on the corporate LAN. So it's having that understanding of what needs to go on the corporate LAN to function versus what's ideal to keep off of it for best performance and easiest installation.
All right. Brian, if somebody wants to find out more about HP Poly, how do they do that?
Yeah, you just go to hp.com, right at the top of the little Poly logo. That'll get you everything you need for Poly collaboration.
All right, very good. Brian Phillips from HP Poly for us, for AVNation. Go by our website, avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv. Follow along as we bring you more videos from the show floor of InfoComm 2024. All that and more at avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.